Now at 7, President Trump takes in a UFC fight and speaks with reporters on political fights he's continuing to battle.
And it's going to remain mild today with a small chance of some showers. I'll talk through the forecast coming up.
And later, the Dane County Farmers Market is back for the outdoor season. How a vendor we speak with says it's a year-round effort to make it all happen. This is Weekend Mornings, and once again, we thank you for joining us here on this Sunday morning. I'm Kyle Pazorski. Singer-songwriter Al Green turns 79 today. And let's get to the first warm forecast. Jacob Montesano joins us. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Kyle. Right now, temperatures definitely on the milder side compared to what we normally see during the morning. Lower 50s, upper 40s out there, and these are pretty much going to be the low temperatures for this morning. Now, temperatures are going to remain mild, but we are going to be pretty cloudy. Now, as we take a look at the winds, they are a little bit breezy at this time as well, around 10 to 15 miles per hour, a little bit stronger for areas a little bit further south, 18 miles per hour in Monroe, but the winds are certainly going to keep the temperatures mild today. Now, we're not seeing any rain right now, but we are expecting the chance of some showers. Overall, not a washout by any means. And as we take a look at the rain chances, it's mostly going to be north of Madison with a few passing showers and storms, especially north of the Dells. So this includes you folks in La Crosse up north towards Eau Claire. But even areas in in central Wisconsin, it's still going to be mild, and it's not going to be raining all day for you folks. Could see some showers for a few hours for some isolated locations. But again, everyone should see dry conditions at some point today. I mean, everyone's seeing dry conditions right now, and the temperatures are comfortable. It looks like by the overnight hours, maybe some lingering precipitation, but a lot drier compared to today. But as I mentioned, we are going to be pretty much completely cloudy despite the little rainfall that's expected for Madison, with temperatures in the lower 60s, a little bit breezy as well, around 10 to 20 mile per hour wind speeds, and overall high temperatures in the middle to lower 60s for much of the area. Now, it is going to be windier for Monday, which will cause some cooler temperatures. All the details on that coming up a bit later.
Well, at least we're not going to have a washout today.
Yeah, and even in the central portion of Wisconsin, those few passing showers and storms probably only going to impact those areas for a portion of the day. So everyone should be able to enjoy the nice temperatures.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Let's get to this. A live look of the White House right now. President Trump was out of town Saturday as he headed to a UFC event in Miami. At the same time, his administration is continuing its battles on tariffs and immigration policy. CBS's Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest on those efforts.
It was another Oval Office visit to the Octagon. President Trump ringside at a UFC fight in Miami, along with Elon Musk, RFK Jr., and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Aboard a short flight on Air Force One, Trump talked about ongoing fights in his administration.
We had a lot of things going, don't we, huh?
On Saturday, a court filing confirmed a Maryland man mistakenly deported last month remains alive and secure in a Salvadoran prison. The Supreme Court has said the Trump administration must have him released, but the State Department hasn't explained how they will do that. Trump meets with El Salvador's president Monday and defended use of the prison for other deportees.
We have some very bad people in that prison, people that should have never been allowed into our country.
Meanwhile, the administration blinked in its battle with China over trade. New guidance says smartphones, computers, and other tech devices and components will be exempted from new tariffs that the president says are working.
You know, we've been making $2 and $3 billion a day the last couple of weeks. We didn't make that ever.
The exemption is a boost for giants like Apple that manufacture in China, but the White House says it gives them time to move production to the U.S. The Trump administration also started talks with Iran Saturday to defuse the threat of a nuclear weapon.
Nothing matters until you get it done, so I don't like talking about it, but it's going okay. The Iran situation is going pretty good.
Iran called the talks constructive, and they will continue this week. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The U.S. has boosted its military presence in the Middle East region, but according to reports, de-escalating tensions, prisoner exchanges, and easing sanctions could all be on the table in exchange for limits to Iran's nuclear program. And staying overseas, Pope Francis made an appearance at today's Palm Sunday service in the Vatican City near St. Peter's Square. It was uncertain if he would attend due to his recent battle with double pneumonia, which hospitalized him for 38 days. But there he was, appearing before the faithful as the Catholic Church ushers in the final days of the Easter season. Local officials in Ukraine say at least 21 people were killed in a Russian strike on the northeastern city of Sumy. 2 ballistic missiles hit the city center where people were attending Palm Sunday church services. Russia has increased air attacks and missile strikes on the Sumy region in recent weeks, all as it has pushed Ukrainian forces out of much of the adjoining Russian territory of Kursk. To an update, 2 people have now been charged in connection to a homicide here in rural Dane County. 18-year-old Creed Moore and 24-year-old Dwayne Johnson Jr. are both accused of killing 23-year-old Kyle Thrasher at a Pleasant Springs gas station last month. The sheriff's office said the suspects and victim were familiar with each other. In the March 20th press conference, Captain Kerry Porter said Thrasher had been robbed at the gas station. Both Moore and Johnson Jr. are charged on multiple crimes. In Beloit, a Rockford, Illinois man has been arrested in connection with a bank robbery that occurred in October. Mario L. Johnson Manis Jr. was taken into custody after allegedly robbing the bank at the 2200 block of Cranston Road. He was taken into custody at Bluff Street and Highland Avenue on Thursday. In addition to the robbery charge, Beloit police also discovered Johnson Mance had a gun in his vehicle and was arrested for carrying a concealed weapon. It is that time of year again with the Dane County Farmers Market opening for its outdoor season. Our Tanisha Shaw is giving us a look at Saturday's turnout and introducing us to a vendor that's been working at the market for 25 years.
Farmers market is, my life.
The Dane County's farmers market is back. While it's only here until November, the market is a year-round job for Rachel Murphy and her family.
I mean, what kind of job do you get to bring your own kids to work every day?
Every year, the Murphs look forward to being one of the 60 vendors at the Capitol building on Saturday mornings.
It's all the time. Like every day, I'm thinking about 2 weeks in advance. So, like just to get ready for today, it's weeks in the planning. Like, 'cause we sell beef sticks, so we have cows. We have to get those butchered, and then we're in the middle of making maple syrup, so we have to make sure we make enough maple syrup for the whole year.
Usually, the Murphs are known for their beef sticks, but on Saturday, eggs are one of their best sellers.
We haven't raised our prices on eggs for 4 years, and I finally did in January. We were at $5, and we raised them to $6, so I was a little leery coming today, because I know the prices are starting to go down a little bit again, so I was willing to drop mine again, but it haven't affected me at all today.
Customers' sudden interest is likely because of price increases in response to the bird flu. Since the Murphys own a small farm, they were uncertain how many people would want to buy their eggs.
I was really worried because I haven't had to buy eggs in so many years, so I hear what they're going for kind of, but I don't know, I haven't had to do it.
The Murphs are expected to sell out of eggs by the end of Saturday's farmers market. Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
And our thanks to Tanisha. And this is some general info if you want to check out the market this year. It runs every Saturday through November. And beginning on April 23rd, the Wednesday market opens, running through November as well. All the info you could ever need about the farmers market can be found at dcfm.org. A Janesville man is taking some action these days to avoid waste from vape devices. Nearly every second, 5 disposable vapes are thrown out across the United States. So Jared Sheehan, he tells News 3 Now that inside the electronic cigarettes is technology that can be harmful to the environment. All to combat this, he created Vape Waste Solutions, a nonprofit collecting the used devices.
Places bins in the vape shops and collects vapes so we can bring them back, open them up, and take all that technology out and repurpose it so it's not just getting thrown out.
So far, Jared's only been collecting the vapes is at Smokers World in Janesville. But in the months since placing it there, he's collected between 100 to 200 vapes. So if you want to get in touch with Jared to help him collect the vapes, you can find out how to do so by going to the story on channel3000.com. Mercy Health has expanded its partnership with HealthNet of Rock County by offering behavioral services. 3 Mercy Health providers will begin seeing patients at HealthNet, ensuring increased access to mental health care. Mercy Health stated in a release that the new offerings will allow HealthNet to serve more patients struggling with anxiety, depression, trauma, and other behavioral health conditions. Additionally, Mercy Health will also provide an additional $100,000 annually to HealthNet for the next 3 years. In the Cooley region, volunteers and firefighters fanned out across La Crosse County Saturday as part of the American Red Cross's Sound the Alarm campaign. Crews from the La Crosse, Onalaska, and Holman fire departments all joined Red Cross teams to install free smoke alarms in mobile homes and educate residents on fire safety. The effort aims to reduce fire deaths and injuries by improving home preparedness.
A working smoke alarm can save a life, and so it's really, really important. It's something that's easy to overlook. You say, hey, I've got those in my home, but we want to make sure that they're up to date. Anything that's older than 10 years isn't going to alert you as fast as we want it to.
And you see that number at the bottom of your screen. Write it down. Residents in the La Crosse region can still schedule free smoke alarm installations by calling the number 888-376-4056. And in Milwaukee, some not so good news. The U.S. CDC has denied a request to help manage unsafe lead levels in Milwaukee's public school system. The agency says it can no longer assist the city's health department after it lost its lead experts in mass firings last week. Prior to the layoffs, the Milwaukee Health Department had been working with the CDC for 2 months to address hazardous lead contamination in multiple school buildings. Health and Human Services had said it is planning to continue to work on lead poisoning prevention as well as surveillance. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's health department says it is committed to finding local solutions. It is now 10 past the hour. Still ahead, Gayle King is set to go to space tomorrow. We'll speak with CBS News correspondent Mark Strassman about how she is preparing. Plus, Jacob is back with a full check of your Sunday forecast. That's next here on Weekend Mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. We are going to see some showers north of Madison today, and then we'll see windy conditions as well for Monday and Tuesday. But then we'll see mostly comfortable temperatures, really for the most part, going forward. Now, as we take a look at that rainfall forecast, again, it's mostly going to be north of Madison. Could see a few showers drift further south, but most of the showers and thunderstorms will be in the central portion of Wisconsin. Nothing too extreme, but definitely could see some showers and some showers on the heavier side as well for a few hours, but it's not going to last throughout the entire day, so everyone will still be able to enjoy the nice temperatures that we are going to see today. Maybe some lingering showers early tonight, but later in the night, even central Wisconsin does look to dry up. And as we head towards Monday, we're going to continue to see cloudy skies with a fairly similar forecast, but maybe a little bit less rain. But notice the most rainfall is expected for areas north. Could even see some sunshine for far southern Wisconsin Monday afternoon. And then by Monday night, we are going to see some of those showers begin to drift further south with the chance of some light rain for the Monday night time frame. Now, as far as the winds, those are really going to be driving the temperatures. Today, they're going to be a little bit breezy. Overall, not too bad. Gusts will be up around 25 to 30 miles per hour, but the winds are going to be out of the south, which will help keep those temperatures mild today. Now, the winds are going to calm down overnight, but they're going to pick back up for Monday. And once we get to Monday and those winds pick up, they're going to be out of the west-northwest, stronger than today, gusting up around 40 miles per hour. But that northwesterly wind will keep the temperatures down. And we're going to continue to see northwesterly winds Monday night into Tuesday as well. So that will continue to drop the temperatures for Tuesday. So as we take a look at the temperature forecast, today we're going to see highs in the middle to lower 60s. Once again, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies, maybe upper 50s further north. But then for Monday, high temperatures are going to be in the 50s. So still not too bad, but definitely cooler than today. We also will see a little bit more sunshine for Monday. Still a decent amount of cloud cover, but overall we are going to see more clouds rather than more clear skies like we saw to start Saturday. And then it does look like we'll continue to see some cooler temperatures, at least 50s for Tuesday, cooler compared to the 60s today, but still not too bad. And then we'll warm up for the end of the work week with highs back in the 60s for Wednesday through Friday. But we also are going to see a good chance of rain, especially Thursday evening through Friday. Could even see a few thunderstorms, small chance of severe weather as well. So overall, although the temperatures are going to fluctuate a little bit, we're still not expecting anything too extreme in either direction. Again, a little bit chillier on Tuesday, but we certainly have seen cooler days, and it obviously is not too bad temperature-wise. And then those temperatures are going to warm back up for the end of the week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, like we shared with you yesterday, Duluth Trading Company is having a unique promotion happening this weekend. They're asking anyone who has an old pair of underwear to bring them into their stores today and exchange them for a new pair on them. And don't worry, they will dispose of your old pair. They're calling this the Underwear Trade-Up event. Also today, the first 300 people who go to each store will receive a Peel and Reveal prize card with a chance to win some in-store prizes. So something certainly unique there. And we are now just a day away from CBS Mornings host Gayle King's historic journey to space on the all-women Blue Origin space flight. Our Susan Simon talked to CBS News correspondent Mark Strassman from the Blue Origin launch site in West Texas and asked him how Gayle is doing.
She'll tell you she's excited, but she is scared. No question about it. She says that this is the bravest thing that she has ever tried to do. And she has just been practicing with meditation and doing whatever she can to sort of like get her mind into the right space for what should be the space ride, the joy ride, the thrill ride of her lifetime. And she is looking forward to it, and she is willing to step outside her comfort zone, but she's not one of those people who's putting on a brave face about it. She is nervous about it, as most people would be at a moment like this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so exciting, and she is brave. That's well said. What will Gayle be doing as part of this Blue Origin flight?
Yeah, Susan, she's just a passenger. She and the other 5 women aboard, and it is an all-female crew, are essentially there to enjoy themselves. They will lift off. They will have 4 minutes of weightlessness at the top of the experience where they can float around the cabin, look out the window, see the curvature of the Earth, experience that unbelievable view that so many other astronauts, both professional and civilian, have talked about over the decades. And then they're going to come back to Earth and land a couple of miles from where they launched, which is on Jeff Bezos's ranch here in West Texas.
But you've been covering the Blue Origin flights from the very beginning. How do you think the world of space tourism is changing?
It's just taken off. I mean, since 2021, when it all really began, and whether you're talking about Blue Origin or Virgin Galactic or, in a more ambitious way, SpaceX, space tourism has planted itself here as an emerging industry, and it is still very expensive and typically an option available only to the very wealthy. But the theory is that in time, with regular launches on reusable spacecraft, that the price tag will come down. I mean, maybe not to the point where anybody can do it, but to the point where it is more approachable for more people. And I think that's what everybody's looking for is when is that day going to come when more people, besides the very wealthy, will have their chance to go to space too?
Well, we can't wait. We'll all be watching on Monday morning. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us today. Great to see you.
Great to see you too, Susan.
All right.
And you can watch Blue Origin's trip to space tomorrow at 8 a.m. right here on CBS or with Paramount Plus. It is now 7:20. Still ahead, got some consumer news with the signs of cooling inflation this past month. Plus, here's a look at today's day in history. Well, fire danger across southern Wisconsin continues to be high. Take a look at this map provided by the Wisconsin DNR. All that yellow, it means we are at a high fire risk. And yesterday there were some brush fires here in the Dane County area. Some I think were reported out in Iowa County. So there is some fire risk out there. So just be mindful of that. Jacob checks in back now with another check of our Sunday forecast. Are we going to have any more winds today that can make this worse?
Yeah, the windy conditions are going to continue today and for tomorrow as well. The good news is that we are going to see cloudy skies, so that may help a little bit keep the humidity up. Now, as we take a look at the temperatures, so far this April, we have been a little bit on the cooler side, about 3 degrees, a little bit over 3 degrees colder than normal. And you could see that firsthand with the last 14 days. All the blue days indicate below normal temperatures. It wasn't until up until yesterday, we had a stretch of 9 straight days below normal here in Wisconsin, at least with the high temperature. Now, as we take a look at the highs going forward, the average high for this time of year is 56. So we're going to be a little bit below that, a little bit above it. But overall, we're going to continue to see fairly comfortable temperatures. Even Tuesday, when those temperatures fall, we are expecting sunshine by the afternoon, so it shouldn't feel too bad. But there are a few days, especially Thursday into Friday, where we could see high temperatures back in the lower 70s. So it does look like, for the most part, we're going to see consistent spring-like temperatures, although it's not going to be perfect. Specifically Tuesday, it certainly is going to be consistently at least okay.
All right, Jacob, thank you. In consumer news, there is cooling inflation and continued tariff whiplash from the White House. Christine Lazar has your Eye on Consumer report.
A stunning about-face on President Trump's reciprocal tariffs spares most of America's trade partners, except China. 1 week after announcing the fees and sending the markets into a tailspin, the president pulled back, pausing for 90 days. But he clapped back even harder at China, with taxes on Chinese imports reaching as high as 145%. The Consumer Price Index showed cooling inflation in March with an annual rate of 2.4%. That's down from February and closer to the Fed's 2% target rate. Grocery prices remain stubborn, with eggs hitting a record high in the run-up to Easter, an average of $6.23 per dozen. Analysts expect tariffs to make a greater impact on prices in the coming months. And it could cost you more to sign, seal, and deliver. The U.S. Postal Service wants to raise the cost of a first-class Forever stamp from 73 cents to 78 cents starting July 13th. It would be the first of 5 planned rate hikes through 2027. And those are some of the week's top consumer stories. I'm Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And next on Weekend Mornings, our final half hour of news with today's top headlines. Stick with us. Right now, 7:30, 2 people have been charged for the death of a man in rural Dane County. We got the details ahead. Plus, President Trump is working with Iran's leaders to come up with a nuclear solution, with more talks to come. And later, we shared the story of a man looking to end some of the waste from vapes. This is Weekend Mornings, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Pazorski here on this Sunday, April 13th. And Jacob Montesano has the first warm forecast, joins us with that. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Kyle. Temperatures right now on the milder side, lower 50s and upper 40s across the area. So definitely mild compared to what we normally see during the morning. Although we are seeing some windy conditions, which is helping keep those temperatures on the milder side around 10 to 20 miles per hour. Not as windy the further north you go, but everyone is expected to see some breezy conditions today. Now, we're not seeing any rain right now, but we are expecting some shower and maybe a few thunderstorms today, but for only parts of the area. Taking a look at the rainfall forecast, the best chance of rain will be for areas north of Madison. Even north of the Dells will have the best chance of rain. This includes you folks in La Crosse and Eau Claire, where overall central Wisconsin has a chance to see some of those showers and maybe a few thunderstorms. Some rain, though, could drift south into Dane County, but for the most part, we are not expecting much here in Madison and surrounding areas. It will continue potentially for the evening, but the best chance of that rain will be in the afternoon. By the evening, it will just be a little bit more isolated. Now, we're going to remain very cloudy throughout the day in southern Wisconsin, despite the fact that we should be mostly dry. Highs will be in the lower 60s, so overall pretty comfortable. Again, it will be a little bit windy with wind speeds around 10 to 20 miles per hour. Highs across the area will also mostly be in the 60s, maybe upper 50s for areas further north and east. But we are going to see some windier conditions for Monday, dropping the temperatures a little bit. I'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Our top stories this half hour. 2 people have been charged in connection to a homicide in rural Dane County. 18-year-old Creed Moore and 24-year-old Dwayne Johnson Jr. are both accused of killing 23-year-old Kyle Thrasher at a Pleasant Springs gas station last month. The sheriff's office said the suspects and victim were familiar with each other. In a March 20th press conference, Captain Kerry Porter of the Dane County Sheriff's Office said Thrasher had been robbed. Both Moore and Johnson Jr. are charged for multiple crimes. In northern Wisconsin, a search for the suspect in a double homicide has now come to an end. The Taylor County Sheriff's Office says this person, Caden Haddon, was responsible for the deaths of 2 people. Haddon was found dead inside a home Saturday and appeared to die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No possible motive was given by the Sheriff's Office for the double homicide. Around the world, the first round of high-stakes talks between the U.S. and Iran on the Middle Eastern country's nuclear program wrapped up on Saturday. The White House is describing the talks as positive and constructive. According to the Iranian foreign minister, the meeting got close to reaching a framework for negotiations. He also says the second round of talks will be held next Saturday. President Trump had this to say while traveling on board Air Force One to a UFC event.
They can't have a nuclear weapon, and we're negotiating with them. I want them to flourish, but they can't have a nuclear weapon.
Now, President Trump has also given Iran a 2-month deadline to accept a deal that would lead to Iran shrinking its nuclear footprint or eliminating its program altogether. And more local news, the Dane County Farmers Market welcomed in their outdoor season yesterday, bringing loads of people to the Capitol Square. While the outdoor market season is only around for a few months, the vendors know it's a year-round job. That includes Rachel Murphy and her family, who work hard to get enough product ready to sell at market.
Every day I'm thinking about 2 weeks in advance, so like just to get ready for today is weeks in the planning, like because we sell beef sticks, so we have cows, we have to get those butchered, and then we're in the middle of making maple syrup, so we have to make sure we make enough maple syrup for the whole year.
The outdoor market runs each Saturday, and coming up on April 23rd is the first Wednesday that it will be held throughout the harvest season, no matter if it is rain or shine. Every second, nearly 5 disposable vapes are thrown out across the entire United States. This morning, our Ellie La Liberté shows us how a Janesville man is working to change that, one vape at a time.
Inside Smoker's World in Janesville, you'll find something that may seem out of place. A bin to get rid of your disposable vape. But this bin isn't just filled with vapes. In Jared Sheen's eyes, it's filled with technology.
There's voice recognition in some vapes, and then there's also ones like the vape phone that people probably have heard of, and ones that play music too, ones that play games, and it's endless.
Jared knows firsthand how much waste the small e-cigarette devices can produce, so he started Vape Waste Solutions.
Basically what we are is an initiative, a nonprofit that goes around to vape shops, places bins in the vape shops, and collects vapes so we can bring them back, open them up, and take all that technology out and repurpose it so it's not just getting thrown out.
Many disposable vapes use a lithium-ion battery, and according to Jared, they last about 2 weeks depending on the user. So oftentimes, those batteries just end up in the trash.
So I want to repurpose it either to make new tech out of it, for example, like battery banks where you could just recharge your phone or whatever with it, or to redistribute it back to companies that would be able to use it.
Right now, Jared's bin is only in Smoker's World, but in the month or so he's been doing it,
We got about 100 to 200 so far. It's not that much, but hopefully in the future we can build that up.
Reporting in Janesville, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Now, if you want to get in touch with Jared to help collect the vapes, you can find out how to do so by looking for this story on channel3000.com. And around Wisconsin, got some new details emerging in a case where a teen is accused of killing his mother and stepfather earlier on this year. Newly unsealed federal records show the murderers were part of a much larger plot, which included overthrowing the government and assassinating President Trump. A federal search warrant unsealed Friday details a murder plot as part of a plan targeting the president. The documents attribute that plot to 17-year-old Waukesha student Nikita Kassev, who was charged in the shooting deaths of his mother and stepfather. According to prosecutors, the teenagers stayed inside the home with their bodies for 12 days.
Victim B body was appeared to have been deceased for some time, was unable to definitively identify who it was.
Now, the motive for the murders was apparently to use that money to fund a plan calling for the president's assassination to, quote, foment a political revolution in the United States and save the white race. Investigators also say Kassev paid for, at least in part, a drone and explosives to be used as a weapon of mass destruction to commit an attack. Kassev remains in custody on a $1 million bond. It is 7:37, still ahead here on Weekend Mornings. The Midwest Horse Fair continues on today, and we'll have the details if you want to go and check it out. We're back in a bit.
Well, as we take a look at the precipitation forecast over really the next week or so, we are going to see a few small chances of precipitation the next couple of days. Better chance for today and tomorrow will be areas north of Madison. But then as we get towards Monday night, we are going to see some light showers drift into southern Wisconsin. The rain, though, will be very light during that time frame. And then for Tuesday and Wednesday, we are almost certainly going to be dry, at least later in the day, Tuesday and Wednesday. But as we get towards Thursday, we're starting out dry. dry with a good chance of some showers, maybe some thunderstorms moving in during the evening. Likely going to last into Friday morning before it looks like it will clear out by Friday afternoon, and then we are going to be dry for that following Saturday. So to recap the precipitation chances, again, some small precip chances the next couple of days, much better by the time we get to Thursday, into Thursday night and Friday before quieting down for the weekends. Now, as far as the drought conditions go, right now we are seeing much improved conditions across Wisconsin. A lot of the state not seeing any drought, but still seeing a moderate drought in southwestern Wisconsin.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Still happening today, the fun of the rodeo continues at Madison's Alliant Energy Center with the Midwest Horse Fair. I know a lot of people are in town for this. This year's fair began on Friday, bringing some food, competitions, rides, and many more things to the Dane County area. The theme for this year's fair is Journey Home, now in the fair's 44th year. If you plan to go, here's some info that you need to know. One-day ticket costs $25 to get in. However, children under age 7 will get in for free. Today is also Military Appreciation Day with free admission for all military members. You can find a full schedule of events on their website that is listed there for you on the screen. Time is 7:43, still ahead. Andrew will share how the Brewers are looking in their series against the Diamondbacks. Plus, Jacob returns with a final check of the full forecast. This is Weekend Mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. We are going to see some showers and maybe a few storms north of Madison today. Breezy conditions as well, but it will be windier for Monday and Tuesday. But overall, we're going to continue to see comfortable temperatures even with the gusty winds that are expected. So looking at today's forecast, fairly dry for southern Wisconsin, but notice we still are going to be mostly cloudy. Those showers are expected in central Wisconsin. Could even see a few thunderstorms with those as well, especially north of the Dells. But even in central Wisconsin, it's not expected to rain for the entire day. Should be dry at points, but better chance of rain for you folks. This does include you folks in La Crosse as well. Some lighter precipitation overnight, but it looks like we'll be fairly dry for the overnight hours. And then as we get towards Monday, pretty similar in terms of rainfall, where there's a better chance north, although we are expecting a lot less for Monday than what we could see today. Also going to see a little bit of sunshine for Monday afternoon in southern Wisconsin versus the almost complete cloud cover we're going to see today. And then as we get towards Monday night, we will see some of those showers drift further south, but that rain will be very light. Now, the winds are really going to be driving the temperatures the next couple of days. For today, it's going to be out of the south, so that will keep the temperatures a little bit warmer. Not too bad wind-wise, only seeing gusts up around 25 to 30 miles per hour. The winds are going to be calmer the further north you're located, and then everyone will see calm winds overnight, but then they're going to pick back up for Monday morning, but especially Monday afternoon, and this time they're going to be out of the west-northwest and be stronger than what we're going to see today. So gusts will be up around 40 miles per hour for tomorrow afternoon, which will lead to some cooler temperatures, although the temperatures still not too bad, but we're still going to see northwesterly winds gusting pretty strongly up around 30 to 35 miles per hour Monday night into Tuesday, which will cause temperatures to continue to cool down for your Tuesday. So as we take a look at the temperatures, we're going to see highs in the middle to lower 60s today. Maybe some upper 50s as you go further north. Again, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies even when it's not raining, but rainfall will be hard to come by in southern Wisconsin. And then for Monday, we'll see highs in the middle 50s with a little bit more sunshine. So definitely on the cooler side, but overall temperature still not too uncomfortable. And then for Tuesday, they're going to continue to fall before rising back up for the end of the work week, where by Thursday and Friday, high temperatures will be in the middle to upper 60s. Could even see some lower 70s, but we also are going to see a good chance of rain Thursday into Friday, maybe a few thunderstorms. We'll have to keep an eye on the potential for severe weather, because right now it looks like that could be the case for Thursday evening. Now, as we look towards the weekend, we're going to see dry conditions, maybe some light rain by the time we get to that following Monday, but overall temperatures aren't going to be too extreme in either direction. They'll fluctuate between above and below normal, the average high in the middle 50s, and a few days we could see temperatures get close to 70, but that's not too uncommon anymore for this time of the year, and we're not expecting any days where high temperatures won't get into at least the lower 50s.
They call the third day of the Masters Moving Day, a chance for golfers to make their way to the top of the leaderboard before today's final round. Rory McIlroy yesterday looking to get closer to winning his first major in over a decade. He started this round with a truly historic stretch, carding a 3 on each of his first 6 holes, including this chip in for eagle on 2. He heads into today's final round 12 under, 2 ahead of the pack. But right on his tail, Bryson DeChambeau, and this will help. He sinks it from the fringe on 18 with a big birdie, puts him 2 strokes back, and they will have an absolute masterpiece together today. They go together, they tee off together at 1:30 as 2 of the world's best will both look for their first Masters win. It will be straight cinema, and the coverage starts right here at 1 on CBS. Down to Phoenix, where the Brewers led 4-0 heading into the bottom of the 9th before everything crumbled. The Diamondbacks snaked their way to a 5-run 9th, coming all the way back to win it in walk-off fashion, 5-4, the final score. The Bucks have come a long way since starting the season with 8 losses in their first 10 games. 2 nights ago, they locked up the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, having won 7 straight contests. In that first round, they will play a familiar opponent in the Indiana Pacers, but that's not even what Doc Rivers says he's focused on. He says he's just happy that his guys hit their stride at the right time.
You know, we're still trying to figure it out with, you know, what lineups without Dame and all that, but we have found ourselves, and we're playing terrific basketball. We're playing together. Giannis is trusting all his teammates. Him and Scoot are starting to really have some chemistry together. So we're doing a lot of things.
A facelift of philosophy is on the horizon for Wisconsin football, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. And the team's offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes, the new guy, says he's thrilled with his guys' eagerness to adapt. He compared it to someone coming into your workplace and throwing away all the training manuals, making you start over and learn a new way to do your day-to-day job. He says his team has taken to the change in stride, adapting an identity he identifies as tough, nasty, and disciplined.
I think it's what Wisconsin is. It's who Luke Fickell is, you know, and we talk all the time about, as a team, about being tough, nasty, and disciplined. And you know, Wisconsin has won a lot of football games over the years with that mentality, and being gritty and being physical is who we are. And it doesn't just mean, all right, we're going to run the football.
That is your morning sports fix. Have a masterful Sunday.
National Scrabble Day is next. And here's a look at what's to come on For the Record.
Hey, Kyle. Yeah, coming up this morning on For the Record, we sit down with the outgoing Wisconsin Democratic Party chair, Ben Wickler, on both his future and the future of the Democratic Party. Also, a spring road trip. We travel to Dodgeville to look at the local impact of the state budget process. That's all ahead this morning at 10:30.
Finally, this morning is your time and chance to get your game on today because it is National Scrabble Day. It marks the birthday of the inventor, who was born on April 13th of 1899. The game is now so popular it is sold in 121 countries and played in 29 different languages. More than 150 million Scrabble sets have been sold internationally. And it was once made into a daytime TV game show back in the 1980s. So definitely a good thing to maybe play today.
Honestly, this does make me want to play it. I haven't played it in a while, but
okay, well, we have about a minute of time to kill, and I have a thing here on my computer to look up some words. So hit me with some words, and I'll tell you how many words you'll get. Because,
like I said, me and my wife have played a lot over the course of our relationship, so I know a lot of like the really, you know, those like words that most people wouldn't use in normal conversation. Like I talked about earlier, QI is a word. And like
that's 11 points.
Yeah, and then I would always try at like the very end, whenever I had like a Z, I would always try to like find like some of like the 3-letter words there. I know X could actually be used as in like EX, OX, and AX. And also AXE are also words. I always remember these like, you know, just like these small words.
How are you able to get away with that?
Well, because you would look it up, and if it says like Scrabble has like its own dictionary, it's like if it works, it works. So
I guess.
And especially what would be even funnier is if you have like an O, like OX would be ox, and then like you put the X, which is like 8 or 10 points on like a triple point word, and you get like 30 points for just a 2-letter word. It would always annoy my wife, but that's how we. But she does the same thing, so that's how we would play.
That would be annoying. I need at least 3 letters in a word if I want to count it.
Now to be fair, when I play, I always try to make longer words, but I'm more talking about like the end of the game where you're like searching around the board, trying to fill in like any last points. But yeah, I usually try to get like at least like 4 or 5 letters, and obviously if you get the more fun it is.
Weather is spelled with a W.
Yes, and an H, which are both 4 points. So that could be a lot of points depending on some of the bonuses you get. Now, looking at the actual weather, pretty quiet, definitely windy early this week with some small chance of rain, better chance of rain by Thursday, Friday.
I didn't know you were such a big Scrabble fan. All right, thank you, Jacob. Thank you all for watching. Have a great Sunday.